You're listening to the Agentic Engineer podcast, weekly AI agent intelligence for builders. I'm your host, and with me as always is my co-host. Let's get into it.
Issue 15. The plugin wars begin. Anthropic open-sourced 11 knowledge work plugins for Claude Cowork. OpenSearch serverless kills the $300 minimum. A paper shows self-improving agents going from 25 to 86% accuracy. And the hot take this week, human-in-the-loop is a liability, not a safety feature. Spicy.
Quick rundown. Anthropic dropped 11 open-source plugins for Claude Cowork. File-based. No code. No build steps. Markdown and JSON. That's it. Plugins just became the new mode.
OpenSearch serverless next-gen, scale to zero vector search. The old $300 per month minimum is gone. Tool of the week.
And a new paper, AutoSci, proposes memory-centric agents that handle the full scientific research lifecycle. 3-tier memory architecture, episodic, procedural, and meta-knowledge. Blueprint for any agent that needs to get smarter over time. The big one. Anthropic open sources 11 knowledge work plugins for Claude Cowork. And I think this is more significant than it looks on the surface.
Walk me through it. What did they actually release?
11 plugins covering sales, legal, finance, data analysis, marketing, customer support, and 5 more verticals. Each one bundles 3 things: skills, which are structured instructions, / commands for quick actions, and MCP connectors for external integrations.
So a sales plugin teaches Claude your CRM workflows and objection handling. A legal plugin teaches contract review patterns. Makes sense. But what's the big deal? People have been writing system prompts for years.
The big deal is the format. It's entirely file-based. You write a skill.md describing what the agent should know. You write a JSON config pointing to your MCP servers. Done. A product manager can build a plugin without opening a terminal. A consultant can customize Claude for their domain in an afternoon.
Okay, I'll push back. Cursor shipped their own plugin marketplace the same week. 11 first-party plugins. How is Anthropic's approach different?
Cursor went with a full SDK, code, build pipeline, package manager. Anthropic went radically simpler. And history says the lower barrier wins. WordPress beat everything because anyone could write a PHP file. The App Store won because the barrier was just low enough for indie devs.
I'm not sure that analogy holds. Simplicity wins for quantity, sure. But quality? Enterprise customers want tested, versioned, maintained plugins. Not someone's markdown file from a weekend project.
Fair. But look at the adoption signal. 4,944 stars in 1 week. People are forking these plugins and adapting them for their own domains already. The zero-barrier format means the community can produce domain plugins faster than any company could build them internally.
Here's what concerns me, though. If your entire SaaS product's functionality can be replicated in a markdown file, you have a problem. Your next competitor isn't another startup. It's a Claude plugin.
Exactly right. The companies that survive this shift will be the ones offering value plugins can't replicate. Proprietary data, network effects, integrations too complex for file-based configuration. If your moat is just workflow orchestration, a plugin just ate your lunch.
So the plugin war is real. Anthropic chose simplicity. Cursor chose power. Who wins?
Whoever gets more third-party plugins built faster. I'm betting on the lower barrier, but we'll know within 6 months. Quick hits. 5 stories this week.
First up, ChatGPT for Google Sheets exfiltrates entire workbooks via prompt injection. This one is wild.
A single indirect prompt injection hidden in white text in one imported sheet triggers data exfiltration across the victim's entire Google account. The user had human approval enabled. They clicked allow. Gone.
OpenAI's fix was to remove the model's ability to generate apps script entirely. That's not a fix. That's an amputation.
And Anthropic's own telemetry confirms why this works. Users approve 93% of permission prompts without reading them. We'll come back to that number in the hot take.
Anthropic published a deep technical post on how they contain Claude across products. Claude.ai, Claude Code, and Cowork.
Key reveal. Mythos preview was deemed too dangerous to ship in April due to blast radius. Containment beats supervision. Making dangerous actions structurally impossible is better than asking permission. That 93% approval rate proves asking doesn't work.
Required reading for anyone building agent permissions. Seriously, go read this post.
OpenAI published a case study on building self-improving tax agents with Codex. First documented case of agents that get better autonomously in production at scale.
The numbers. 7,000 tax returns processed this season. Accuracy went from 25% to 86% at 75% field completion. 6 weeks. 3-part improvement loop, practitioner feedback, production traces, and Codex-driven iteration.
25 to 86 in 6 weeks. That's the self-improving agent pattern everyone wants. And this is the first time anyone's documented it working at scale with real production data.
This connects directly to the paper breakdown. AutoSci proposes the same self-improvement loop for research. The pattern is converging across domains.
OpenAI models and Codex are now generally available on Amazon Bedrock, GPT 5.5, GPT 5.4, and Codex.
1 month after the expanded partnership announcement, pricing matches OpenAI first-party rates. Usage counts toward existing AWS commitments. No separate OpenAI contract needed.
For enterprise teams already on AWS, this removes the last excuse not to try OpenAI's models. Same IAM, same billing, same guardrails. Just add a model ID.
Understand anything? Interactive knowledge graphs for codebases. 48,000 stars. Plus 22,750 in 1 week.
Claude Code plugin that analyzes code bases with a multi-agent pipeline, builds a knowledge graph of every file, function, class, and dependency, then serves an interactive dashboard. Works with Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, Copilot, and Gemini CLI.
22,750 stars in 1 week. That growth rate is absurd. The onboarding use case alone justifies the install. Pointed at a new codebase, get a navigable map in minutes. Every developer who's ever joined a team with a million-line monorepo just felt their soul lighten.
Paper breakdown. AutoSci, memory-centric agents for the full scientific research lifecycle.
Okay, this is a dense one. What's the core insight?
A unified system where agents handle the entire research pipeline using structured, persistent memory across projects. Literature review, hypothesis generation, experiments, manuscript writing, review responses. One system, one memory layer. Continuous improvement.
So 5 specialized agents sharing a memory store. Literature agent, hypothesis agent, experiment agent, writing agent, revision agent. What makes this different from just chaining 5 prompts together?
The memory architecture. Each agent reads from and writes to a shared structured memory. The key innovation. The system improves its own research procedures over time. If a literature search strategy consistently missed relevant papers, the search procedure gets updated automatically. If a hypothesis framing led to clearer experiments, that framing becomes the new default.
That's the same self-improvement loop we just saw in the OpenAI tax agent case study.
Exactly. The pattern is converging. Observe outcomes. Identify what worked. Update procedures. Repeat. Whether it's tax filing or scientific research, the architecture is the same.
What's the practical takeaway for builders? Not everyone is building a research agent.
The memory architecture translates directly. Separate your agent memory into 3 tiers. Tier 1, episodic. What happened? Raw events and interactions. Tier 2, procedural. How to do things. Step-by-step workflows. Tier 3, meta-knowledge. Which procedures work best and under what conditions?
So if I'm building a customer support agent, episodic is the conversation history. Procedural is the playbooks for handling different issue types. Meta is knowing which playbook works best for which customer segment.
Exactly right. And the self-improvement comes from the meta layer reviewing the procedural layer. If playbook A resolves issues in 3 minutes, but playbook B takes 12 minutes for the same issue type, the meta layer can promote A and deprecate B.
I like this because it's not magic. It's structured data management with a feedback loop. Any team could implement this today.
That's what makes it practical. AutoSci gives you the blueprint. You don't need a research lab to build agents that learn from their own performance.
Time saved, 7-minute read versus 48-minute paper. 6.9x compression. Tool of the week. OpenSearch Serverless Next Gen, and I'm going to say it, this is the most impactful AWS launch for agent builders in months.
Bold claim. Walk me through it.
Here's the problem. Every builder running vector search for agent memory was stuck in an ugly spot. OpenSearch Serverless had a $300 per month minimum. 2 OCUs at $175 each. For a side project or a dev environment, that's absurd.
So people ran Pinecone, or self-hosted vector, or just skipped vector search entirely.
Right. Now that floor is gone. 0 OCU minimum. It actually scales to 0. Your dev environment runs a few queries during work hours, costs under $5 a month.
What about production workloads?
A RAG workload processing 10,000 queries per day. Old pricing, roughly $350 a month. New pricing on Next Gen, about $45. For workloads that spike during business hours and idle overnight, you're looking at 70 to 80% cost reduction.
That's the difference between vector search being a budget conversation and vector search being a default choice for every agent.
Exactly. Plus 20x faster autoscaling. Seconds instead of minutes. Decoupled compute and storage. Native integrations with Vercel and Kiro for deploying production-ready search backends fast.
And they ship developer tooling alongside it. OpenSearch Agent Skills, a repo of domain-specific skills for Claude Code and Cursor. Plus an OpenSearch Launchpad for Kiro that provides guided architecture planning for search applications.
The setup is clean. 2 CLI commands. Create a collection group with generation set to next-gen and min capacity at 0. Create a collection with type VCTO or SERCH. You're live. No provisioning. No capacity planning up front.
For anyone building agent memory, RAG pipelines, or semantic search, the economics just changed fundamentally. $5 a month for dev, $45 for production. That opens up use cases that were impossible at $300 minimum.
And honestly, this is the kind of launch that quietly reshapes the market. It's not flashy. It's not a new model. But it removes a cost barrier that was blocking thousands of builders from shipping vector search in production.
Agent Index Update. Weekly Star Tracker, June 3rd.
OpenClaw at 375,964. Plus 1,455. Lowest delta since we started tracking, but still adding more than anyone else in absolute terms.
The interesting story this week. Mastra officially overtook Vercel AI SDK. 24,620 versus 24,581. Gap of only 39 stars. But the crossover is symbolic. Mastra is the new momentum play in TypeScript agents.
LangGraph at plus 656 outpacing parent LangChain at plus 600 on absolute weekly gains. The orchestration layer is where developer attention lives, not the base framework.
Microsoft Agent Framework had its strongest week since GA at plus 222. Meanwhile, Semantic Kernel is nearly frozen at plus 47. That's a clear signal about where Microsoft's developer community is heading.
N8N at plus 945 almost cracked 4 digits again. Workflow automation keeps eating into agent territory.
And one more notable, Strands agents from AWS at 5,988, plus 59. Still early, but it's the youngest framework on the index. Worth watching.
Hot take. And this one is going to make some people uncomfortable.
Human in the loop is a liability, not a safety feature.
Explain. Because half the industry has built their entire agent safety story around human approval.
Anthropic published their containment engineering post this week. The most important number in it. Users approve 93% of permission prompts without reading them. 93%. That's not a safety mechanism. That's a rubber stamp with extra steps.
And the Google Sheets attack proved it. An agent asked for permission to run app script. User clicked allow. Agent exfiltrated their entire Google account. The user had human in the loop enabled. They felt safe. They weren't.
Anthropic's own conclusion. Containment beats supervision. Make dangerous actions structurally impossible instead of asking politely.
But wait, isn't this throwing the baby out with the bathwater? Some permission prompts do catch real threats. You're saying we should eliminate all human oversight?
No, I'm saying the current implementation is security theater. When your approval rate is 93%, you're not reviewing. You're clicking. Every "are you sure" dialogue is a false sense of security.
So, what's the alternative? If not permission prompts, then what?
Structural containment. Capability-based security. Instead of asking, "Can I access your files?" the agent simply cannot access files outside its sandbox. No prompt. No approval. Structurally impossible. Instead of asking, "Can I make a network request?" the agent's runtime has no network access by default. You grant capabilities explicitly at deployment time, not at runtime via click-through.
That's a fundamentally different architecture. Most agent frameworks today are built around the ask permission model.
And they need to be rebuilt. The permission prompt era needs to die before more data walks out the door. Stop asking. Start blocking. Make the unsafe path impossible, not just inconvenient.
I'll partially agree. Containment should be the default. But there are edge cases where human review genuinely matters. High-value financial transactions. Irreversible actions. The problem isn't human oversight as a concept. It's human oversight as a rubber stamp on routine actions.
Fair. The 93% approval rate is for routine prompts. For genuinely dangerous actions, humans probably do read more carefully. But the industry needs to stop pretending that a generic "are you sure" dialogue provides meaningful security. It doesn't. The data proves it. That's a wrap for issue 15 of the Agentic Engineer podcast. Subscribe to the newsletter at theagenticengineer.waltsoft.net and follow us on YouTube at the Agentic Engineer Pod. Share it with a friend who's building with agents. We'll be back next week. Until then, keep building.